And we always talk about how do we make an exponential impact in the world of climate change, because climate is moving at an exponential rate, and it is truly through systems thinking and systems implementation. So how can we all be the wolf? One example I wanted to quickly share, our solutions team, a shout out to Margot Ridgway, who is with us here today, is the director of the solutions team. Our solutions team identified this world-changing solution, which we'll describe here, and through our global sustainability expedition that Sabnam was talking about, we went down to Panama. We spent 17 hours out in the Darien region, which is one of the most dangerous regions with the drug cartels and just, so much happening down in that region that this lone wolf that we're going to describe has had an impact. So this is just one example of an individual with one idea. And the original goal was to fill degraded land with life again. And we all know about deforestation and the impacts that it has. The causes are, it impacts 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions through deforestation and land use change. And our lone wolf is a man by the name of Andreas Eck, who is originally from Germany. He saw a challenge with the deforestation. He really just wanted to regrow forest. And this is solely the Panama story, but he has now gone into many other countries across the world. And where to begin? You have an idea, but where do you start? He really wanted to provide something that was more than just a monoculture. We've seen in the carbon offset community of just growing a monoculture of forest, but he did not want to do that. And so he decided he wanted to grow an entire forest, but where do you begin? There was no way for him to find all of these beautiful native plants. So he had to create an entire native plant nursery. So this is one of the first systems that he put in place, and he created the largest native plant nursery in all of Central America just to help to support his goal of what he was achieving. He hired indigenous leaders, and this woman right here, when we were down there and we were interviewing her, she said, these plants are like my children. Very much connected to the purpose of the work that she was doing. And lives were being changed. For the very first time, people were being paid a living wage. They had health care. They had a retirement plan, something that they'd never anticipated in their life. They were being trained in new ways, so they had different skills that they could then carry on. And just like with the woman prior, they all had passion and purpose for their work. So an entire ecosystem within those communities was being changed over time. And the result, to go straight from that deforestation to this wonderland of an entire forest that was now in place. It was, we watched the progression as we went on that 17-hour journey, and we started in land that was barren to land that they just started planting the trees to something that looked like from that deforestation is 20 years after it was planted. Of an entire forests were created, new ecosystems were there. These are the howler monkeys we heard in the background. These were the sloths that we see in the trees. And those generation forests absorb 20 tons of carbon emissions per hectare with trees right from that and the soil. Again, this is entire ecosystem. And it grows 4 times as fast as the European forests. This is a world-changing solution. And I want to say this system also has a financial support system. So it's not just something that somebody's doing good in the world. The carbon offsets that Andreas sells
point, as I was saying, a national human rights due diligence learning and platform, which provides templates and guidance for companies, because a lot of companies are doing a lot of good things, but they don't necessarily know where they are. So once companies utilize these tools, they'll understand that they're not starting from zero, that they have already started, and they just have to build things up from there. Using better grievance systems, for example, which ensure confidentiality, non-retaliatory mechanisms, because employees often feel afraid to report certain concerns that they're having. And of course, creating the culture, which enables employees to speak up and share their opinions. So I'm close to the end. I'd just like to share a story that a few months ago, I visited a mid-sized RMG factory just outside of the Gazipur area. While I was having a discussion with the workers, one female worker shared something that was small, but I found it quite powerful. She said that for 10 years, she has never reported a problem within the operations, within the factory floor that she's working in. And it's not because that she didn't have any problems, but she didn't report that because she didn't think that anyone would listen and anything would come from those problems. So when we had the conversation with the leaders of the company, they realized that grievance boxes and hotlines that are placed, nobody was using it because nobody was feeling confident in using it. So the management introduced a new worker committee, which is comprised of half women who are elected and not appointed by individuals, and set up anonymous grievance platforms. So within the first month, they received some about 40, and most of them, although were small issues, but when workers saw that these small problems are being addressed, it helped grow the trust of the workers. And eventually, a few months later, the company saw that absenteeism reduced inside the company, productivity improved, and for the first time, workers shared their experiences that they felt like they were being seen and heard. Now, it wasn't a big international funded program. There was no funding for that. These were just a simple factory deciding that listening is part of doing good business. So in conclusion, to me, human rights transformation isn't a policy, it's a mindset. It's the shift from silence to having a voice for your people. It's a shift from moving from fear to transparency, from compliance to building a culture of dignity for all people. Now, Bangladesh has always been resilient. We have always been known as a resilient nation from many angles, from many aspects. Now, platforms such as this, and through the work that we're doing, not just ourselves, but with our development partners and with our companies as well, we now have a chance to not be just a successful nation, but a humane nation. And each of us has a thread in that transformation. So with that being said, I thank you again for the opportunity, and thank you all, and moving on to the next speaker. Over to you, Shabnam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mabrur Bhai, for initiating a hope that how we can transit from silence to voice, how we can transit from fear to transparency, and at the end, dignity. And you have shared the most powerful story tonight that 10 years, one person is thinking, no one gonna listen to her. That's one sentence. Tell us what's the condition we are having. And it's not only the perspective of Bangladesh, it's the perspective of all the other countries who are working, and not only for the workers, for the top level and mid-level employees also. So thank you for bringing this issue. Now I would like to invite one of our distinguished teller, Ahmed Ali Bhai. Ahmed Ali Bhai, he's joining us from Reverse Resource. He's working as the business development lead. And what diverse insight he's bringing with us when he's developing business for his organization in his own experience and what he witnessed with working with different company, how you observe this shift of human rights and transition, how you witnessed people's empowerment. Could you please share your story with us?
Thank
And
you.
you
Thank
have
you,
8 to 10
Shabnam.
minutes. Yes, we are
Yeah.
running out of time. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Shabnam. May I share my screen? Yeah. Can you see my screen?
It's fine.
Yeah. So myself, Ahmed Ali. I am working as the business development in charge in Reverse Resources. It is an Estonian-based company, a multinational company. We have a global presence, and I am a circular economy expert, you can say. And I'm working in this arena for last 5 years. And previously, I was in marketing merchandising in a textile group. So that's where I have been in the past, in these last 12 years. And now what we do, I just want to deep dive into a portion of it, that what we do, why we do it, why it is important, why sustainability important, and why we believe that the inner push needs to be come from within ourselves. So everybody asks for top-down approach. Brands ask the manufacturers and the facilities to be sustainable process, to adopt the sustainable practices, to adopt the human right, social compliances. But why do we need that? So from that portion, when we come to a conclusion that within the fashion industry, it is heavily resource incentive industry. And water is one of the biggest resource that the fashion industry consumes. So you can see in my screen that one cotton t-shirt, just a small t-shirt, and it takes up to 2,700 liters of water, what you can drink for a long period of 3 years, your drinkable water. And this is just to make a one cotton t-shirt. So what does it mean? That do you have plenty of water? Do we have what, whenever we see that whatever around us, that is like plenty of water, sea, and sea, multiple of seas, right? But is it correct? Can we drink that water? It is just the 97% of whatever we see around the water. It is salty, right? So balance is only the 3%. So out of that 3%, 2% is locked in the snow or ice. That is very helpful for us. If that snow or ice becomes melting, then our low ground will be right under the water, right? So we are lucky that the 2% is locked into ice and snow. So we remain with the just only 1% of the fresh water that is for cultivate our crops and drink. That is the primary cause for water, right? But we're using that water into the industry, and what we can see that every 2% out of 10, 1.5 billion people cannot access the fresh water. So this is persistent in the current world. And when we see that population growth and the purchasing capability with the fast fashion growth, we were seeing that the 2050 demand of clothing, like these many zeros, like 160 billion kgs of clothing demand will be there. So it's skyrocketing, and the fast fashion is going so fast. And that's how the clothing demand will be there. And for that clothing demand, you need to get the resource from the earth. We have only one earth, right? So to cater this demand, we need, this is the 3 times than now. The demand is now 3 times than now will be the 2050 demand. So to cater that demand, we actually need 2.4 worth of Earth's total resource. So you see that the clothing demand, the fashion industry is going so high that it will not sustain. The fast fashion will not sustain because we don't have 2.4 Earth of resources, right? We barely have one. So with one resource, and the 40% of the total population will be in freshwater crisis in 2050. So water is a major resource that fashion industry is using, and it will be the next one in the new decade, right? So that's how the SDG goals addresses the water and the responsible consumption. And that's how the resource, whatever has been generated already, we need to recycle, we need to reuse, repurpose, and the 3R, 5R principle, you already know everyone, that the 5R principle of the industry. So around the globe, all the countries are currently using the existing thing into the laws to pressurize the brands and the manufacturers to make the resource more usable, more durable, and more towards the recycling. And whatever waste is generated, that should not be the waste, that should repurpose through the supply chain again. And that's how we, Reverse Resources, as a company, we work in this industry, and we redefine the waste as resource. And we are enabling the circularity. We work with the brands mainly and with the manufacturers around the globe. We have the data from 37 countries, and we are working with 18 plus major fashion brands, as well as with 1,200 manufacturers around the globe. So that's how we are working in. And we are mainly a tech-based company who provide the tech support to bring the traceability and transparency into the supply chain. And as well as we are performing as a data company to share the data to our stakeholders to take informed decision around what will be happening. Because with the legislation, with the European Union Green Deal, with the ESPL law, with the EPL law, with the Waste Framework Directive, with the CSDDD due diligence directive, whatever the law is coming around, people need to be responsible towards the environment. What is happening with their waste? What is happening? Is it throwing out into the ground? Is it burning? Or what is happening with their waste? So that's how we are providing data to the stakeholders that this is happening to your waste. You can take the measures and do accordingly to circular movement. So we do the operational approach as well. We build the supply chain into the ambient with the brands and manufacturers to do their operational work and bring business case out of it. So that's how we, Reverse Resources, work with the fashion brands. We work with the manufacturers, and we work with the recyclers. And there is a big portion of waste handlers that relates with the human rights, where I can share the light upon today that, you know, the fashion brands with the CSDDD Corporate Social Due Diligence Directive, they are coming into the Tier 1 manufacturers. Now the manufacturers have already been compliant in social, in environmental compliance. They are being pushed, and they are already a very good remarks they have done in terms of compliance. Recyclers as well, they are a big portion. If they are a big company, then they have a certain level of compliance. But what about the waste handlers? They are the shadow people, they are the underground people working into multiple locations, thousands of small shops, thousands of warehouses with no compliance, with bare minimum wages and everything that is overlooked. And we, Reverse Resources, as we bring the transparency onto the table, we came along with the waste handlers where there is a huge gap with the human rights, and the transformation needs to be there, because everyone is looking after the manufacturers, everyone is looking after the recyclers. But in the reverse supply chain, in the circular supply chain, the waste handlers being overlooked. So that's a big portion and big S number, like in Bangladesh, like 3,000 manufacturers is there, garment factories is there. But waste handlers is more than 5,000. Small warehouses with no infrastructure, with no proper guidance. So there are a big, huge gap and risk in that section. And we are Reverse Resources working along with the projects and team members and programs and with brands. We are all looking into how we can manage and how we can transform that gap, the big gap, into a smaller ones. And being the wolf, let's just say that the first Michelle was saying that be the wolf. So we were trying, and in this field, in this reverse supply chain, no one is we found no other platform in this reverse supply chain. But the forward supply chain, the digital platform, there is many others like Textile Genesis, like Our, like and other industry players are there for the linear supply chain. For the reverse supply chain, there is none. So we are working here for last 15 years, and that's how. And you see that because of the demand from the recycling end is rising up, and with the recycling content should be there in every product, the product collection of that 30% needs to be there. So that's how the install capacity is skyrocketing around the globe, as well as the mechanical recycler, the thermomechanical recycler, the chemical recycler in the Europe and the USA. All the places the recyclers is coming around to solve the textile waste and bring the value chain again into the supply chain. But there is the lack of formal and compliance in this sector, where the workers working in the waste handling sector, no one is looking after them. And because they are the workers being rejected by the garment manufacturing, because garment manufacturing is a efficiency-based manufacturing. If you are capable enough to bring the enough efficiency into the production line, then you are capable and your grade will be there, and your wage will be the minimum wage and everything. But what about after 40 years working in a garment manufacturers, 30 years working in a garment manufacturing unit, and then she couldn't bring the efficiency no more. Then she gets along into the another supply chain, and then they get recruited in the waste handling sector, as well as the child labor as well. The mother brings the juvenile labor into this sector. No one is looking into that. So, and the unsafe working condition, there is many hazardous risks is there. The structure is not good enough. There is tin shades and everything, and they work with the waste and with dust and respiratory problems. All are there. For the recyclers, they need formal supply chain to source their material from. So they need the better working waste handlers to work with, but they can't find many. And the brands as well, that you see the brands is coming along with the CSDDD pressure from the government, and then the brand needs to declare where his waste is going around. So when he is going to declare that my waste is going around this waste handling sector, which has actually a lack of big gap of human rights problem, then the brand reputation tag is along in this case. And the manufacturing countries, we are also a risk of losing great potential of the export business and circular economy. So that is where the main problem in this circular economy lies upon into the waste handling sector. And how we can help in this waste handling sector, we Reverse Resources, what we are doing, that there are many regulations, many standards are there. Recyclers requirement is some that I need 5 of this to be checked to get the waste from a waste handler. Brands are being pushed by their own guidance, own compliance guidance. And the waste handlers also input their idea that how we can work along with. So we are creating a universal code of conduct for the waste handlers, because this is very new for them, and this is unthinkable for them. They are a small business persons, and they are warehouse owners and very small scale business. They cannot take on the huge load of compliance regulatory things. So we are going around with them with the progress oriented approach and the hands-on support to implement and traceability integration, that whatever they're doing, and the supply chain can be transparent. So some of the pictures you can see that the code of conduct we are creating under the projects, and from the Reverse Resources side, that the worker should be freedom of movement in this waste sector. And the child and juvenile worker should not be there. At least the child worker must absent there. The health and access of the basic amenities, the earnings, there are mainly the daily wages. not monthly, not fixed income. So they are the mainly daily wages. Whenever the order comes, they need to hire, and they're on a daily basis. So that is a issue with the workforce. You can see and the
Mr.
work
Ali,
side.
I'm just interrupting for a little bit,
Yeah.
that we're already out of time, and it's a
Yeah, yeah.
wonderful presentation. So it would be great if you wrap up it within 1 minute.
Yeah. I'm wrapping it up. I'm wrapping it
Okay,
up. So
thank you.
that thing I was sharing, that the code of conduct is the main thing, and that is the our input in this sector, that we're working in this waste handling site, and we're trying to bring better output here. And that's how one of the success cases there, the Recycle Raw Limited. They are the 10 times they have grown with us, being a business partner, and they have been improved with their working environment. You can see the pictures, and they have improved a lot, and they are being the model of the waste handling sector in Bangladesh. And that's how the success story are also there, and one can follow them and bring the business into them. So that's how reverse resources work in this sector, and being the workers right in this side. Thank you, Shabnam Appa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing this powerful session. And I would like to request you to, if you please stop sharing. Yes, thank you. So yes, you shed light in a point where we are not looking so much, and you are working. Thank you for you and your organization, what you are doing. And now I would like to invite one of our esteemed guests, Saida Jinat Karimapa. She is one of the senior officer program progress Swiss contract, and she is not only working for the human resource empowerment. Actually, they're not directly working with human rights, but indirectly and directly they are developing the culture so that people will be more empowered, so that they can protect their rights. Now I would like to invite Zinat Appa. Appa, are, are, you- are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Shabnam Appa, for the introduction. Mostly what I'm going to talk is from my own experience, previous working experience, and currently where I'm working. So mostly I'll talk about my present work. And while I was listening to the discussion, I've noticed that almost all of you spoke about the sustainability reporting, ESG, governance, compliance, and RMG sector. And interestingly, I'm working one of the project of Swiss Contact, and my project is called Progress, where I'm working currently. So our project is funded by Embassy of Sweden and Embassy of Switzerland, and we actually work in the RMG sector. So for those who doesn't know about the Swiss Contact as my organization, so our organization work in the development sector, and we actually work strengthening private sector and enterprises. So the way we work is we work with the market system development approach, and from that approach we try to connect. Sorry, there is a message. So we work with the market actors so that we can ensure the sustainability aspect, that after our project ends, the sustainability approach remains, and the market actors actually adopts what the kind of initiatives we usually use based on the customized projects and its initiatives. So coming back to my project, so our project works in the, as I've already told, in the RMG sector, and we work we have two important components, or two main components. One is skills and productivity, where we work in the decarbonization aspects of the skills and productivity. We implement initiatives. We go talk to the factories and ask about their needs, find out their needs, and then we figure out that what kind of initiatives needs to be taken to train the workers and also implement for that particular factory so that the skills and productivity part goes up. We provide skills training to the workers and also to the mid management, and we also work in the aspect of ESG and ESG aspect. So there we also work in the compliance sector, compliance space, and we go to the factories. We help them with ESG-related initiatives. We take our technical expertise and their consultancy. We link them with the factories, and factories they go to the factories, do a whole need assessment of the factories, and figure out that what kind of customized initiatives is needed for that particular factory, so that they can be more competitive in the global market. As we all know, that there will be derivatives coming from the EU and also from America. There we export our goods. So we have to be really compliant. Our factories needs that kind of assistance and support, because there is still a lot of knowledge gap is in the market. So it's one of our backbone, our country's backbone, and to keep our RMG sector competitive in the market, and we have to work in both the skills productivity gap, that space, and at the same time we have to think about how we can make this sector we have to create a net zero pathway that we have signed the Paris Agreement, and we have to remain under 1.5 degrees. So to do that, we have to be carbon negative or the net zero pathway. So to create that, we have to go to the factories and figure out what kind of initiatives are needed for them, so that they can get to that aspect. So we also work with the subcontracting factories. Those subcontracting factories have unique needs, and we figure out that what kind of initiatives we need to implement so to make them better competent in the market. So this is what we kind of work in the RMG space. And I'm not going to make my speech really long. The core message is that being for the maybe in the last 10 years, sustainability could have been a buzzword, but now it's not a buzzword. It's kind of becoming reality for every sector, not only RMG sector. So we have many aspects to work with, and with the workers, we have many opportunities as well in this kind of space. And this is the time that we work together and grab that opportunity so that our industry and not only RMG sector, other sectors can also become resilient and competitive. At the same time, we can touch the decarbonization aspect that all of us needs to be adhered to. And with that note, I'll be ending my talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zinatapa. It was a power-packed session, and you inspired us that how we need to work together and we can save our energy and conduct it to develop our skills. And you also inspired us to move forward, and what you are doing, that's really inspiring. So thank you so much, and also thank you for giving us time. So now I would like to invite one of the distinguished guest speakers, Salahuddin Muhammad Bhai. He is the advisor of textile and garments merchandising blog and Bunon. And he has another identity that he was the former director of Ria's Garments, which it was the first garments of our country. So now I'd like to invite Salahuddin Bhai, and you have your 8 to 10 minutes now. So up to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's really wonderful to share the frame with lots of people today join here. So I am actually not that expert. The expert we have today, they have shared a lot of information and they have presented there. So thanks the leaders, organizers for inviting me to speak here today. It's an honor to join this important discussion on human rights and sustainability, and also share of my personal thoughts. And also I will share some special on my thoughts on how we can see in 2050. That we will speak later. I come from a family deeply connected to the textile and garments industry. My father was the founder of Ria's Garments, and Ria's Garments was the first pioneer who export ready-made garments from Bangladesh in the year 1978. That was the Bangladesh first export on RMG sector. It was started by my father hand. So today we are dreaming of a billion or $50 billion industry and also involve 40 million people. And my father was the man who started this industry in Bangladesh. So we experience success, struggles, losses, and start new beginnings. So that was a big story. So from my childhood, I have seen this industry grow. So I have seen a lot of hits and ups and outs, but and falling and struggle of this industry. So first of all, I like to take the opportunity. We are in the month of December, so I deeply give my respect to the people of Bangladesh who died for our independence. So in 16 December, we are Victory Day in coming for. So our deep respect to the people who died for the independence of Bangladesh. So I have also here our seniors and have discussed regarding the Bangladesh transformation. I have seen 1978 to today. Actually, in Bangladesh in 1978, when after liberation, we have a maximum people are not in business. Lots of people are interested. The educated people are interested in going to build their career in law, build their career in the army, build their career in the maximum for government jobs. So if you see the past, if you the story, if you go back in the after 78 or 71 or 72, 73, that there is in the business we don't have that much educated people. So especially in our garments industry, we have less educated people who are in the industry who have found us. So after 80s, the people, this is our story I have seen in my eyes. It is very difficult to get people interested to bring them in the garments industry. Everybody was so much not feel secure. They are not that time. They not feel secure that this industry, this is not a, for the educated people. This industry is not for the educated people. So that part we have struggled a lot. And today, Alhamdulillah, we have seen that now our in the panels, everybody was discussing on focusing on the garment industry. So this garment industry, as we go and discuss in 1990, already discussed, we have a big issue with child labor. And we have overcome this issue in 1991. This issue has been big issue for that time. That was I was in the industry that. So we have lots of communication with international buyers, local. So that was a first big achievement in our human rights in the RMG industry. So we have a great achievement also, but by that this time we have also ignored some because after the child 12 years or 14 years of working in the industry, they are out of the industry. That means they are not earnings anymore. So that time a big number of child was created unemployed and they are become drugs addicts. They are become they are storing in the road. So that part was not discussed. We have discussed that we have achieved a big child labor free Bangladesh garment industry, but in the same time we have a group of child. We have group of child who have become poor, become street boys. So that part still remain. If you go in Kamalapur, in famous place, railway station, if you go still in the night time, if you walk around, then you can see lot of child are stealing, they are walking along, smoking, taking drugs. So we have a good part that is very good, but we are ignoring the other part of the story. which was not highlighted, which was not focused. So this, I think, we need to be focused. We need to be speak that we are focusing only the garment industry. What we have done in the garment industry, what we have done sustainable in the garment industry, what we have done green go in garment industry. But the other part, like Rana Plaza tragedy, like Karjin Apparel tragedy, these two tragedy, the world has, the industry had a vibrant, that means it's like an atomic bomb. Everybody was, oh, Bangladesh is finished, Bangladesh garment industry finished, Bangladesh have they are not following any. So after that, we have to make a massive change. Same we have ignored, same. We have same incident we have in Belly Road, same incident we have in other factories, but we are not focusing in the other part of our country. So what we are for that, I think one of our speaker has speak that few of the other sectors people are now getting interested in the safety, security, and so I want to tell that we need to focus in this area. Those who are working for sustainability, human rights, transformation, not only garment industry. Why we are focusing everything on garment industry? Other than other sector, we have to be focused. If a child of 12 years is getting opportunity to work, I think if they have opportunity to work today, we don't see any people in Kamalapur are having drugs. We have 70 lakhs, more than 70 lakhs, 7 million child are underprivileged now. They are not working. They are not working. But we are speaking about human rights. We are speaking about doing. A lot of people are doing. But my point of view is we are focusing one sector. We are focusing one side. Who will focus the other side? They are abused. They are told if you go, your tears will come out. If you walk in the night, still you see the small children in the railway, in the bus station, in Sadarghat, you go Sadarghat, you can see the real picture, real scenario. Who is taking care of those people? So my point, I think I close here. I just focus. I just highlighted the good things you have highlighted. I have highlighted the other side of the part that we still have to be improved. We have to be worked out because real transformation, whether rights or sustainability, must be begin at the root, not in a five-star hotel, not in a big conference. It should be start from a daily life of the people who truly run out industry, our families, our small communities, the factory floors. So this should be the place we have to work on. So a world abroad, which another big point. I go now another chapter. So this is the main thing. With the
Salahuddin Bhai, I'm just interrupting for a little bit that we are out of time. So if you take 1 or 2 minutes to wrap up.
I'll close it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So world abroad, which is moving in a wrong direction. Another important issue is our global obsession is with cheap and cheaper products. This mindset is causing society in a dangerous direction. People are buying more, wasting more, and valuing less. This should be stopped. We need a global pause. People should buy less, but buy better. Better for health, better for work, better for environment. This is a simple shift. Reduce waste, improve human rights, I think, and support sustainable industry across the world. Quality over quantity is also a choice. It is the only path to protect our planet and the well-being of the future generations. So human rights transformation in Bangladesh, from my work in RMG textile sector, I have seen the Bangladesh improving, but slowly we follow many global standards, but the real change is awareness in the root level. Worker, supervisor, and our families often lack in the information, rights and responsibilities, personal safety, mental health, environment care, sustainable living. Without awareness, transformation cannot be succeed. That is why I strongly believe we must start using real life stories, simple education videos, when workers, their own struggles and dreams reflected on the screen, they feel included and empowered. So my future idea for human rights and sustainability, I would like to share in 1 minute. To build a better future, I like to highlight three simple ideas: using storytelling, videos, and real experience to educate workers and families; training local youth, teachers, and workers to spread awareness in their neighborhoods. The youth is our strength, and if they work, grow with awareness, the whole country moves forward. So before I say goodbye, we talk about big policies or global communities. We must first invest in the heart and mind of our people. Sustainability, human rights, and future transformation all being at the family level, community level, and factory level. I believe the world of 2050 will return to its roots, choosing health over speed,
Thank you.
family over screen, and responsible living over reckless consumption.
Thank you.
Technology will remain, I finish, but human wisdom will guide, and the balance will shape the world of the future. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. May Allah guide us towards honesty,
Thank
responsibility,
you.
and sustainability. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Salahuddin Bhai, for your insightful session. We are running out of the time, but you will be happy that in three media, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, there are 150 plus people are listening to us. So we
Very good.
believe that our story is very powerful. Now I would like to invite our storyteller, one of our from the list of our last storyteller, Mr. Jamshed Al Zubaidi Bhai. Jamshed Al Zubaidi Bhai, he is working with Triangulum as a CEO and helping to develop people's skills, mostly the workers' skill. And now we'll listen his story and his thoughts. Up to you, Zubaidi Bhai, and your time is only 7 to 8 minutes. Please pardon us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Shabnam Appa. I'm very happy to see Salahuddin Bhai is here. We know that he was one of the first factory who his father is built one of the first factory in Bangladesh, and we're happy to see him here. And also my other distinguished colleagues here. Thank you, everyone. So from the Triangulum is an advisory and management consulting firm. We work with private sectors, development partners, and in sometimes government organizations. In my last 2 years experience from the Triangulum's journey, from the floor level to C-suite management people, we experienced that everyone has their own. Bangladesh is in the very verge of its LDC graduation. Hopefully, we will graduate next year from least developing countries to developing countries, and things will definitely change. From buyer end, they're expecting a lot of things, a lot of compliance issues. From our understanding that from buyer end, from the brand's end, there are too many compliance fatigues that they have. We are in this business, we're in this business, if we talk about RMG, that we're close to 50 years in this business, almost 40 years. So the country has 40 years of experience. Yes, there are a few things that people are talking about, but right now in 2025, Bangladesh is changing way beyond, and they're doing extremely good. There are more than 250 LEED certified garments factories in Bangladesh. I think many other countries do the only constant thing, and definitely it will be positive. So our I have seen that reverse resource who are working in the textile to textile waste part. Yeah, that's pretty good. But that my part is that if we talk about in technology, yes, we are little way not much way ahead. As a advisory firm, we are supporting our peers, partners, so that we can locally boost up our resources technically, and also if we believe that if the financial mechanism becomes strong, the human rights can be developed. If a factory, it might be sound harsh, but which is a fact, that if a factory cannot do his profit that it should be, he cannot able to provide his workers. So the brands has to come forward and has to be more responsible with this giant RMG industry. This is one part. Since I found a lot of people from RMG background, recently we are working with the agro processing sector in the FMCG core in the food industry. Our finding is that there are a lot of compliance issues in the food industry. So we are trying to support them so that they can be more supportive to their workers, and also they can ensure the food quality system. As well as we are also working in the textile and leather sector. So we are learning and we are adapting with their system, and we are helping their organization and their resources so that they can ensure their working environment. And of course the human rights it's a large tire. So we are trying to support that so that someone can be profitable and also can be a more compassionate to their workers in terms of sustainability, what we are saying today. And we are facing a lot of jargons in the market in the sustainability industry. There are a lot of sustainability terms. Every brands are following different forms. So they also should come to a single window service where since we are a manufacturing or supply country, that would be much easier for those who does businesses. Also, their employees and workers will be much in a comfortable shape. So I will not take for today. I'd like to thank you everyone, and yeah, thank you from my side.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jamshed Bhai. You bring the elephant into the room that we have lots of jargon, we have lots of audit, we have lots of compliance issues, so that people becoming exhausted to fulfill, and they didn't have any more time to think and do about sustainability for the real end. So thank you for bringing this issue. And dear audience, you all have witnessed that we try to bring a story from different perspective, from practitioner, from trainer, from coaches, from the real sustainability lead, from the expert, from the consultant, from the brand, and from the stakeholders, from international NGOs and organizations. So at first it will be looks like, okay, we are disconnected, but the end, we all become connected as like the dot when it's connect. We have seen that we all are thinking in the same line. We are focusing fear over confidence. Because we are having fear now, we need confidence. We are focusing on silence into the market, but we are focusing how we can transform it into the voice, and we can achieve dignity. So we have listened a story from our invited guest. Now we are talking about youth contribution and how we can enhance youth from around the world. Now I would like to invite one of our youth leader, who is the part of US Green Chamber of Commerce, and he started his career as a sustainability associate. So I'd like to invite Teja to share his story within a minimum time, how he got inspiration to work into this path and what is his vision. Tay, are you listening us?
Yes.
Yes.
Give me one moment. So, hi everyone. It's an absolute honor to have to speak today and to listen to so many of your insightful presentations. And today I just want to talk a little bit about my road to sustainability, how I put sustainability at the forefront of my life to make it a main goal of mine. Right. So, I was born and raised in Yangon, Myanmar, and I was raised between Yangon and Singapore. So, to those in Bangladesh, hi, we're neighbors. And my family history faced immense hardship in the 1940s, which caused our future generations to develop a collectivistic philosophy, right? I believe in teamwork. I believe that collaboration is absolutely essential for the success, whether it's in business or whether it's advocating for something. But because of that, I was able to grow up with comfort and stability. And given that I was raised in Yangon and Singapore, I was surrounded by very different realities. So the two worlds I call home, they showed me that societies can solve problems in different ways, right? In Yangon, while you have beautiful culture, a beautiful people, and a very informal way of life without maximum use of technology, it made it beautiful in a way, but there was also visible inequality, right? There was visible inequality in a sense that people, half of the population, were in poverty. They didn't have good living situations, but then 1% would be able to live however they wanted to. But in Singapore, it was completely different, right? The technological advancements allowed the society to flourish and to expand very fast as a whole. So it led me to this question of why do I get to live so comfortably when others don't? So this is where I grew up. This was my backyard. So I woke up to trees, waters, and birds chirping. It was like a tropical forest. It was absolutely beautiful. And one morning I heard my family and adults talking about climate change, but I was too young to understand any of the science. So I simply asked them, so will we lose all this by pointing to all the greenery around me, by pointing to the lake? Because that truly made me very sad in a way and made me want to do something about it. But I was too young to know what I wanted to do. So I moved to America. I'm now based in Santa Barbara, California, and it was a huge culture shock, right? The scale of consumption, the consumerism culture, and the new social norms absolutely shocked me because people just kept on buying and buying without ever closing the loop and recycling them. And I came across this video called The Ugly Truth of Fast Fashion by Hassan Minhaj. He is a comedian, which turned this important talk and point into comedy. And I love fashion myself, so I started thinking, could something be done about it? And I love reading, so I picked up this book, Confessions of a Radical Industrialist by Ray Anderson. He was a CEO of a very large corporate company, and this fascinated me and engulfed me with the idea of doing business in a way that respects Earth, and I discovered the circular economy. So while reading the book and while reading more into how I can help to make a change in the world, I realized a comfortable life isn't really a free pass to ignore all problems and live however you want to live. If anything, it gives me even more of a bigger duty and obligation and more capacity to act. So, what does sustainability mean for me? So, sustainability is when people can live well, healthy, safe, and dignified within the limits of our planet. And I grew up where reuse and reusing were common sense, right? Longis, you can see, are a type of rag or fabric worn by men and women back in Myanmar, and they became rags used to clean once they started ripping, and jars became storage, and tea shops used real cups, and disposables were nowhere to be found. And I started seeing a system, even in a developing country, where they leak value. Some of them leak value and harm, but some of them also keep it cycling. And I realized that there are different approaches to learn from many systems. For example, in gleaming cities with smart buildings, though they have technological advancements, they were more linear and they were more prone to disposing. And for rural towns that were built on trust, they had strong repair cultures and community loops. So I realized that it was very important to keep an open mind to learn from each other. And then I came across this documentary. It was by Bill Gates. It's called Inside Bill's Brain, Decoding Bill Gates. And he set out a challenge for students and universities to reinvent the toilet. And I realized something as small as a toilet can be a climate tech because the pit latrines we see in most of the developing economies can affect water, health, safety, time, and livelihoods all at once. And toilets can be a climate tech in a way that they protect water, they eradicate disease and methane in our environment. And this gave me a deep fascination with the circular economy and humanistic capitalism, right? This perspective from being fortunate enough to be all around the world lets me see both tech and tradition. And sustainability is not just about emissions, it's also about human well-being and systems. And knowing that even the smallest thing as how we design toilets, clothes, or buildings and businesses can restore or erode dignity, right? Let's say the toilet, in this sense, can be turned into something that would turn feces and urine into drinkable water or reusable electricity. And humanistic capitalism is a term that I learned from actually a fashion designer, where he pushes basics to the front line, where clean water, private toilets, time return, and risk remove were at the forefront, right? It's all about the people. This then creates fewer clinic visits, steadier school days, where the worker who doesn't have to ration water can live happily and well, and the person who actually makes it to class, the neighbor who no longer stands guard outside a flimsy door because the community is more secure, and a community and capitalism where profit still matters, but as a means, dignity is really the end. So there is no alternative, right? I'm really excited about the technological advancements and about the talks of human becoming an interplanetary species someday. But I've also seen how easy it is to take things for granted when we believe there's always an alternative. There's truly no alternative to planet Earth, like there's no alternative to the place that shaped you. My roots, regardless of where I am, will always be in Myanmar, just like how Earth will always be our shared home. And we really have to design for dignity first. And we can't just measure CO2, but we also have to measure health and time because that plays into sustainability and human well-being. So I urge to ask this question, or I urge you to ask yourself this question of wherever you are, you should ask yourself what your next decision would do to a day for the people and for the planet. It's an absolute pleasure, Sabnam. Thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tay, for bringing your energetic presentation. What a powerful message you shared. Two questions I'm taking from you. One is, what we are losing it for real, and second, you just finished with what decision we are gonna take. It's really a great invitation for all of us that how we are looking to contribute, and there is no alternative, definitely. And dear audience in all social media and all distinguished guest speakers, storytellers, we are at the end of our session and we have explored a story from all of you, numbers, and all those actually has a story. And we found that we are connected. We are connected with each other, and definitely, we have to work together. We have to support each other. We are working differently, but it's time to support each other so that the competition need to be how we can work, how much we can collaborate, but the competition shouldn't be like, I can work alone. It's high time. So formally, this is the end of our session. Informally, we have 2 or 3 minutes more. And I'm now opening the room for anyone. If any one of you want to share any remarks or question from our guest speakers or any suggestion that how we can work together, it will be great. Is there any suggestion or any ideas? So thank you. Thank you for your silence also, because silence also saying that we are out of time. And this is not the end. This is an starting point. We will contribute, we will communicate and collaborate together in future. And the audience who are with us for this long time, participants from Botswana, participants from Kathmandu, participants from Brazil and Pakistan and India, Indonesia, and everywhere around the world. Thank you so much for being with us. Please share your comments, your question if there is any. And this movement is not only DLeaders or US Green Chamber of Commerce. This movement is for all of us. Let's continue this story. And DLeader always working to develop your storytelling capacity and coaching and mentoring service to develop your mindset to contribute for sustainability. So if anyone needed any support or if you wish to share your story, please communicate with us. Till that time, stay blessed, stay safe, and keep continuing asking yourself, thank you, stay blessed.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone. Again, see you in any other session. Thank you,
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Shamnapa.
Salahuddin
Thank you,
bhai.
everyone.
Thank you, Mabrur bhai. Thank you so much. It means a lot to have you all here. It's really, really wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, we are leaving the page.
Yes, thank you so much. Jamshed bhai, thank you so much. Yasmin appa, thank you. Thank you so much for being for the full time.